Right? Yeah. Okay, everyone.
Alright, so today I'm presenting my proposal for the short film that I wish to film on Dartmoor, and it is called Caught on Camera. In itself, it is a thriller short film with elements of horror, leaning more towards the side of tragedy, because it's not necessarily a horror that ends well. But I felt like when thinking about a genre for filming on Dartmoor, I thought dark woods would really lend itself quite well. In itself, the sort of surrounding would sort of represent the sort of dark themes that go on within this sort of short film. So the main plot of the story is about the protagonist and her best friend. The protagonist herself, Erica, has recently come to the realization that her best friend Kaylee has gone missing, and the only clue she has to the whereabouts of where her friend could be is a scrap of a photograph showing her next to some trees, as well as a voicemail of the night before her supposed disappearance, talking about how she was going to meet some friends in the forest. Erica herself is quite a very adventurous and curious person, but she's had a pretty normal upbringing, nothing too exciting happening, whereas Kaylee is more of a sort of, she likes to party a lot, and she likes sort of going out a lot, so those two things, although it may not instantly say these two characters are sort of doomed, because they're so adventurous and curious of everything. Often within horror films, the stereotype is that whenever someone's really curious about something, it's often that they find the sort of the main threat of the film, and they do sadly get killed off. So obviously the protagonist Erica, her main goals are to find her friend, where she is, and what happened to her, and then obviously with a tertiary question of who could have done this. The whole short film itself is more focused around Erica from her perspective. She's trying to find her best friend, obviously, and yeah, that's basically her goals. Now, obviously, the main obstacle is the killer, who is only known as the photographer. Essentially, he has this sort of defect where he can only see people through the flashing of a camera, and the whole sort of tension and build up to who could possibly have done this, while not seem very obvious at the beginning, but that's the main emphasis, because obviously that's the threat. There's going to be things like sort of camera lenses laying about, obviously the photograph itself, sort of making a dark twist of how this ominous scrap of photograph of her friend, how could someone have taken this? Erica is unknown and unaware of how this photograph was taken. However, this photo was taken before catching Kaylee, or at least the photographer. So yeah, no, that's the main obstacle, and obviously the dark woods itself, not knowing your surroundings and being surrounded by, you know, so many trees. That's why dark forests are so effective in horror films. It's because it's so mysterious. You don't know your surroundings. Obviously, you don't know it very well. And obviously with being sort of surrounded in darkness is quite a daunting feeling in itself. So going through the plot, the main sort of themes are friendship, but also deception, because the whole point of the photographer is that he lures victims into coming into the forest by essentially, you know, it's like a domino effect with his victims. So he catches one person and then he finds out who their best friend is, and then just continues on, and that's how it goes. We don't see too much of that. This short film, Caught on Camera, is focused on these two characters: Kaylee, who's already been caught, and then Erica, who is about to be caught. But that's essentially the main theme. And that's it, really. Thank you for watching and listening.